I think that the key to the success of Scottish swimming in Rio is the consistency of approach over a number of years, a very clear plan on how, a very clear plan on how they can improve performance within Scottish swimming. That has been delivered by a government body that has been fully behind that plan for over 10 years. It has been developed with the needs of performance swimming, and it's underpinned by strong clubs, very good coaches, very good leadership, and also the support of the Sports Scotland Institute of Sport at the top end of the sport.
Clearly I would concur with that, but I think once you break the plan down, these things don't happen overnight. It has been quite a long journey to get to this point, and through that journey we've had quite a lot of consistent success through that, and I think it's largely down to the work of the clubs, the coaches, and of course the athletes. We have a critical mass of athletes within the sport, and I think that really does allow for consistent development and then ultimately good performance at the top end of the sport. I think there were some big changes back in the 90s, and that's why I keep saying it's not a short-term thing, it's a long-term thing that's happened, and into the early 2000s I think we started to see some of the rewards from the changes that were made through the 90s, not just in terms of the way that we deal with athletes. Full-time coaching was a big part of that, but equally good quality governance for the governing body. From the governing body, I think provides that level of stability and consistency, which then allows coaches and clubs to do their jobs a lot more effectively. So I think the early 2000s, I think we started to see that with the Manchester Commonwealth Games. We saw some good results there, and then from there you've seen some good representation on international teams, and then subsequently at Commonwealth Games as well.
What I would throw in there is that there was success in Melbourne 2006. There was a very good Olympic representation in 2008, but actually behind all that there has never been any complacency. So there's a recognition that success today doesn't mean success tomorrow, so the sport has continued to develop its performance infrastructure, hasn't rested on its laurels, and it is very much always looking to the future to think about where the sport is going internationally, where world standards are going, and what Scottish swimming needs to do to keep ahead of the game for future success.
We've never really followed or believed in trying to find specific individuals. What we've tried to put in place is a strong infrastructure with good quality process in there. So by that I mean the effective development of athletes, and I think if we can get that process right, then clearly those that have the ability to go all the way to the top, if the environment is correct round about them, then there's a much better chance of them succeeding in the long term. So rather than looking at specific individuals, we've tried to develop the sport as a whole, and I think that's played a massive part, because we see the outcomes of some of these elite athletes. But clearly there's a lot more other athletes that have been involved in the sport that have actually helped them to continue. I think as long as we try to keep that updated, refreshed, and keep that motivation to improve, then I don't see why we can't keep the success going at the top
end. We need to keep searching for a competitive advantage, and we need to work very closely with the experts from within the sport, and that's the experts within Scottish swimming and also the experts that are on poolside working with the swimmers on a daily basis, and listen to the challenges they face and the questions that they have, and then we need to collectively decide what are the key questions that we need to explore and hopefully find answers for. And we've been doing that for a number of years as well. But in addition to that, which is very much the cutting edge icing on the cake, we have core support that is going in to over 70 swimmers within the Scottish performance system, and that is support that is needed depending on where they are on their journey and the age and stage and the pathway So we are providing support to the athletes that are going to Rio, and it's very much cutting edge support, but also we are providing support for the next generation. Hopefully those athletes that will be competitive for teams in Gold Coast and competitive for the Tokyo Games and also Durban as well for the Commonwealth Games in 2022. So it's very much a case of working in partnership, listening to the questions that the sport has, and also sometimes the individual coaches have, and working together to find solutions. And that can be applying expertise, offering potential alternatives, and then implementing them within the sport.
I think a lot of the time when those answers are found, the important thing is how does that then influence the way the sport moves and the way the sport develops. I think that's probably the most important thing. So if we take the learning from the top and then we actually apply it to athletes as they come through the pathway, then we're reinvesting as the sport moves on. If we don't keep doing that, then eventually it will become stagnant. If we do keep doing that, then we'll try to make sure that we keep on improving.